Hey Lou,
What's up, Patsy?
how we doing today?
We're doing.
Apparently Frank's driving. Oh well,
Oh, he is still driving. I'll
must have got a
be
late start.
I'll be doing that next Friday.
Oh, on the road, huh?
I got to go out to Reading,
Reading, PA.
Reading, PA.
Oh my goodness. Uh, well, that's a good sign.
Well, it's for an industry golf outing, and I figure, well, it's outside, and it really won't have a lot of people. Be
Yeah.
lucky if there's 30 there max. But just to, we sponsored. It was supposed to be back in June. They decided to have it, so there's a couple big shots from other building companies and stuff there. So I'll go make an appearance.
There you go.
And every one of these industry outings I've been to, I've won money at, and it's on the boss's dime. So I might as well go win, try and win some money again.
I would. I would.
Pay for me to drive out and back. So what the hell?
Sounds like a plan. Well, how far away is Reading?
Says 310 miles.
Oh hell, you better leave early.
You know what? My wife says go the night before, and I'm kind of hesitant to stay in a hotel.
Well, you know what? I don't blame you, but she kind of has a point.
Yeah, I mean, I could. It's not a big deal. But the way I get up early every day, I figured I'm up by 3:30 anyhow. I might as well get up and start driving.
Oh, that's true.
The
That's
T
true.
on 10.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you figure how long it's going to take you?
Google says 4:46.
I've been in a car with you. That sounds about right.
So yeah, turnpike too. It's not like 80.
Thing is, you never know. You know, on the
No.
turnpike, you never know, especially the PA turnpike. You're just,
Yeah, you don't. That's true.
yeah, that's hard. Oh, by the way, I wanted to ask you, uh, have you driven past the bike trail lately? The
Yeah, I go by fairly often. I actually go up and down through there. You,
across the street from the parking lot.
yeah, did you see that sign?
He has
Liberal
like,
lockdown.
he's got to have a fucking dozen signs there.
Yeah,
I work with a guy like that. There's no hope for them. You
no,
know, just no hope at all for them. As
no,
much as and you can't reason with them.
you know. My brother's flying a Trump banner at his house. My dad went up and my dad looked at it and he must have seen the look on my dad's face. He says, let's not even talk about it. My father says, good point.
We all have one. My brother would do the same shit.
You know, my brother looked, my dad, I could have seen the look on my father's face like, what the fuck? He's, you know what? Me and my sister laugh. We said, my dad's more disappointed my brother votes Republican than I ever was being an alcoholic.
You know,
At least I got into recovery.
you know, there was a light at the end of that tunnel, right? Oh,
Oh
there's
my
still
God.
hope for him. There's still hope
Yeah,
for him.
even my sister's like, I heard our brother's flying a Trump flag. It's not a flag, it's a banner plus signs. She's
You,
like,
you,
no wonder he likes Florida. It's a good place for him.
kind of fits
she
right
went
in.
from she went from California to Florida, and she says it's she's around Tampa, but she's, oh my God, it's so different. They got it. She loved California. She's all, we got a nice raise just because of cost of living. But
Yeah.
she's, my God, is it a different type of state?
Oh, that's a good way to put it. It's definitely different.
Yeah.
It's definitely different,
Hmm.
and it's gonna stay. It's gonna stay different.
Yeah.
I really think it is because so many people, regardless of your political affiliation or whatever it is, so many people just, especially as you get older, just look at Florida as more and more appealing. It's got to be the weather, right? I mean, with the exception of having to dodge the odd hurricane.
Yeah.
And most of the older people, well, now older people, are rather conservative. But now you're starting to see an influx of newer older people who are starting to be more liberal, and now you're seeing Florida being a hot mess. But I think if you look at how the migration has happened there, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. It just amazes me, but and I hate to say it, it's like they don't see the actual stuff that's in front of them. All they
Mm.
see is that hate we've talked about. He hates the same people I do.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but boy, if Trump got reelected, maybe and I'm heading right there pretty soon. Maybe those people need to, everybody on welfare, disability, and Social Security, maybe they need to miss about 3, 4 months of it.
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe. And I think you will see a shift back toward our side of the argument pretty quick.
Can what do you mean I'm getting no check?
Hmm.
Voted Republican.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got what you voted for, right? Well, what are you complaining about? This is what you voted for.
Well, you hated your neighbor down the street because he's a different color than you. This is what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
This is
hated the queer because some asshole pastor told you it was no good.
right.
You know,
You decided that every person you run into that has a uterus should only make three-quarters of what you make, and you get to decide what she does with her body. Well, now here you go.
yeah.
That's what you get. What was the old lesson? What happens to the least of us affects the best of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Fox News or I'm sorry, Fox Entertainment has a knack of forgetting about that part. You know, they don't actually come out and say it, but they tend to forget about it.
Well, they're not. I did miss the clip last night of uh, was it the assistant chair to DNC that was on Tucker somehow?
Oh no, it was oh
Yeah,
shit, what was his
what's his
name? It wasn't the chair of the DNC. Oh shit! I wanted to save it too, or at least put it up in um our Discord group. Oh, son of a bitch! It was stunning to hear, and I have my own opinion of it, but let me see if I can let me see if I can find it real real quick. Um, he oh shoot, this is going to be a hard one to find. He had Cornell West on.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find the video real quick.
I didn't get a chance. I caught a little blip, and it just sounded like you know, he says people need to hear the truth or something.
And
All I
I
saw
got
was
to be,
a blank look on Tucker.
I um I watched the clip, and I'll give Cornell West a lot of credit, and I like the guy anyhow. So it's not like I'm being, you know, like I've never liked anything he did, and all of a sudden I like this one thing. The way that he handled this whole thing, the way that he handled uh, Tucker Carlson was absolutely perfect because he never really like gave him he never really got confrontational, right? He uh, he just explained his position and was very uh, inclusive. Okay, how I guess that's probably the better way to put it. Right? He was very inclusive. He didn't put a wall up between himself and Tucker Carlson, and it was. I'm going to play it here for us. It was just it was actually stunning to to hear this or to watch this. I'm gonna do it for us right now. Um, absolutely something to. It was really something to see.
Fundamental commitment is to the dignity of ordinary people and to make sure they can live lives of decency. So it's not an ism, no, brother. It's about decency. It's about fairness. Right. It's about the accountability of the powerful vis-a-vis those who have less power. The workplace, women dealing with the household, gays, lesbians, trans, black people, indigenous peoples, immigrants. How do we ensure that they are treated
Look at the look
decently
on
and that the
Tucker
powerful
Carlson's
don't in
face.
any way manipulate, subjugate, and exploit them?
Well, I mean, if that's what democratic socialism is, then I'm basically on board. I do think that ordinary people, middle-class people, ought to have dignity, and I think that our current systems make it hard for them to have dignity. So I agree with all of that.
That's pretty stunning. I'll let you address that before I give you my take on it.
You know what? He worded it very well because how do you? I don't care if you're conservative, liberal, or what, but how do you say, well, those people's lives aren't worth the same as somebody that has power, which was the point he was making, power and privilege. You know, and that's what a lot of this is all about. And you need more people like Cornell West getting on that right-wing noise machine saying, look, this is what we're looking for. It's why do you think the people are making noise? You know, what was Martin Luther King's quote about riots? It's
gives voice to those who are unheard. Yeah, gives voice to those who are unheard.
Yeah, voices of those who are unheard. And that's the whole point. It's not that they want to be in the streets rioting. It's gone on long enough and it's snapping.
It goes back to, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and the way he put it out was, you know what? How could Tucker argue with that without coming off looking like a dick?
Yeah, he couldn't. He couldn't, and that's the point. You know that's how you handle these clowns, right? You make it very inclusive. I will argue that Tucker Carlson wants to be confrontational with folks, especially on the left, that he doesn't agree with, right? Because it's good for his ratings. It gets all the asshole conservatives, gives them all a hard on, and they can all go on their way, right? But whenever you have somebody like this who just includes him in everything and says, look, this is what it is, and this is what we're fighting for, and he makes it very easy for you to get on board with this whole thing, there's not really a defense to that, right? You can either say, well, let's just agree to disagree, or you just move on, or you do what he did, which caught him way off guard, and you say, yeah, I'm kind of on board with that, which I promise he didn't want to do, right? Whenever that whole thing started, whenever he got on air, or right before he got on there. I promise you, he had no incentive to do that at all. He did not want to. He just didn't have a choice, right? Which is what I thought was absolutely more. It was brilliant the way he was handled. You treat him with kid gloves, and all of a sudden he comes along, right? And it's very hard to have that 5 second audio clip or video clip of him, putting down Cornel West, right? You can't do it because this guy's he's not being confrontational with you. He's de-escalating everything that you already decided you were going to do before you decided to do it. I thought it was brilliant on his part. I really did.
Yeah, you need more people like him to get on Fox and Friends or whatever,
Yeah, I think the problem you have though is you get that emotional thing and emotions always trump logic, right? My wife's been telling people that at the jail for 30 years. It just trumps your logic, and as much as you want to, they know how to push your buttons. But this guy, he was on the front foot, man. He didn't give Tucker a chance, and I thought it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. That was last night, correct? Yeah, it was last night.
It was last night.
Speaking of last night, did you happen to watch Biden last night on CNN?
No, I did not. I saw a brief clip with, I forget what it was, but I didn't.
Home run. Whenever he, first of all, I thought it was a really great idea to have this sort of drive-through thing, right? I mean, or drive-in thing. He did it like a town hall, and he did it out in the open. It was literally as a drive-in, like an old drive-in theater, right? Where instead of a screen, it was him on stage with what's his name from CNN, the blonde guy, Anderson Cooper, right? So it was him and Anderson Cooper on a stage, which would have been the screen for anybody's ever been to a drive-in before. And literally people drove in and parked as they would like they were in a drive-in. I mean, I'm sure it was, they had people telling you where to park or whatever. And then they stayed in their cars. And then you had they had questions from the audience or whatever it was. So people would like get out of their car and then walk up to a microphone and ask the question and then have that sort of like that town hall thing. Only they did it as a drive-in. And I'm thinking, boy, that's absolutely, I don't know who came up with that, but they're not making enough money because that was absolutely brilliant in the way they did it. But boy, he hit home run after home. He was hitting balls out of the park. He looked like the Yankees last night. I mean, he was hitting home runs like crazy. And I don't know if you saw my Twitter post. I repost or retweeted. Boy, I wish I could remember who the hell it was, but I'm gonna put it up here for everybody. And this I thought was absolutely brilliant because, dude, when I tell you this guy was hitting home runs, he was hitting home runs, right? So I want everybody to take a look at this because it was spot on. And here we go. This is what it was. Charlotte Alder, Biden in an embarrassing senior moment recites the divergent biological methods of two possible vaccines, molecular structure versus immune system enhancement, and also details chemical specifics, how they have to be stored and transported. Awkward. I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, because I know.
Not for Sleepy Joe, huh?
Yeah, because I saw some, like Bill O'Reilly says, softball. He knew all the questions beforehand, and some of the comments against O'Reilly were just hilarious.
They were
like, no dementia, cool. Oh, you mean like the questions any idiot would have seen coming? Let's see, COVID, economy, and healthcare. Geez, who would have guessed?
I posted his tweet. I was like, dude, he was throwing snowballs and he sourced a waiter Okay, it was his source, a waiter that I promise you he made up, right? Because they're not just going to let any jackass serve the president of the United States. I don't care where he is, right?
Yeah.
His source was a waiter.
Oh my God. Yeah. So their dementia thing's falling apart. And you know what? All you want to say is, how can you accuse Biden of dementia? And, and my comment is, geez, what's the matter? You haven't heard anybody actually speak in complete sentences with intelligence in the last 4 years. That's why you don't. That's why you don't know what it is.
We made a moron the norm.
Yeah.
Right. We did. And all of these things that happened, Lou, when you have that and you have all this bullshit that literally at any other time in our history would have totally disqualified this guy from being even considered in intelligent conversation. To me, just continues to show the power of Fox Entertainment.
Yeah, and it just amazes me when you think about who he was running against. Granted, there were people in there I didn't like, thinking they were idiots, but my God, they're brilliant compared to him. And
Right.
he shot them all down. I mean, if we had any one of pick 5 from that last time, would we be in this position right now if it would have been Kasich, Jeb Bush, Huntsman?
I'll tell you the truth, Lou, and I'm glad my wife's not here to hear me because she doesn't even watch the pod, so I have plausible deniability here. Kasich would have pulled on me pulled me for my vote. I mean, I would have ended up voting for Hillary, but man, he would have pulled a lot of Democrats his way.
Yeah, he would have. I have no doubt. I mean, there's some things I don't agree with them on, but you know what? Fox News didn't want him.
Nope.
He's actually too far left for this Republican Party.
Yeah,
he actually is. He's conservative when it comes to certain issues, but other issues he really isn't.
I would have loved to. I really would have loved to have seen him and Hillary debate. I really would have, because that would have been, I don't want to say inspiring debate, but it definitely would have made you take. It have made you smarter. Okay, it would have. It would have been a great debate. It would have been a policy debate. It would have been, this is my stand on issues. This is this is your stand on issues, and we're going to go back and forth. It would have raised the level of what we come to expect in this country.
Yeah, it would have been. You're right. It would have raised the bar, and like I said, you know what? I think there would have been a lot of right-wing Republicans would have had issue with him in the House and stuff.
Oh, I do too.
I really.
But I still think that is a result of the hijacking of the Republican Party as much as more than it is the traditional Reagan Republicans, the George Will Republicans. It's this hijacking that began with the Tea Party that would have done that. It wasn't been the traditional conservatives.
Yeah, it's just they've been preaching for the lowest common denominator through 8 years of Obama, and they got more than they could handle, is what they found.
Yeah. Who was the Speaker of the House when Obama was in? He smoked like a chimney. Boehner. Where he pretty much let loosen the reins on the Tea Party, right? Because he figured that was his attack dog was the Tea Party, and he could stand back and be a nice pillar of whatever and let them do all the dirty work. And I can remember, and you and I may have even had that conversation back then. We said this is going to come back and bite him in the ass, because that's Frankenstein's monster, right? And what happened? That opened the door to these assholes now.
Well, they actually forced him out.
Yeah, and then you got who was the useless shit from Ohio?
Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan, right? So you got that useless asshole. Who, I mean, Boehner was the Republican Tip O'Neill, with the exception of the one big mistake he made, right, which was ceding to the Tea Party. He was the Republican version. You know, he was to Obama what Tip O'Neill was to Reagan, and he just had one fatal flaw. He thought everything was a nail and he could use a hammer, and it came back to bite him in the ass. The whole party.
Mm-hmm.
That's unfortunate, you know, because I always said you need strong parties in order to get something through. And look what happened. Look where we're at now. Remember how? Now I want to pay attention. I want everybody to pay attention to this, because this is important. For the longest time, and you're going to see this is a pattern that this shithead has. Okay, we have, you know, he comes out and he says something like it's the word of God, and then a few days later, or a couple weeks later, or whatever the hell it is, he ends up backtracking on that a little bit, right? Remember how he said, "Oh, we're going to have a vaccine, and who knows, we may even have it before the election." Remember that? He was spouting that bullshit for a while. Well, now you're starting to see the backtrack, and I want people to pay attention to this because it's really, really important, okay? Now he says we essentially have a vaccine. And compares the effort to defeating ISIS. So he's just doubling down on the stupid. And now he's saying, you know, here it is. We essentially have it, announcing very soon. Okay, so you're starting to see, here we go. In short time, we will have a safe and effective vaccine, and we will defeat this virus. Yada, 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 yada. Okay, so you're starting to see the very tiptoeing of the backtracking now. Okay, now you're starting to see it. It's coming. Give it another week or 10 days, and you're going to see this backtrack in full force. Because there's no way on God's earth we have a vaccine, and forget the election. I'll give it 60 days. I'll give it 90 days. I'll give it till January 1st. There's no way we have a vaccine by now. It's just not possible. Okay? Even if they come up with a serum, by the time they have any kind of sample size where they can honestly say that this thing's good to go, dude, that's 4 months from now. At best. That's if they're running, if they're sprinting, let alone running a marathon. So give it a week, give it 10 days, and you're going to see them backtrack even more. I promise you will.
Yeah, because I also heard that, I forget which show it was on the other night, even if they do have one, they're feeling that it might be like a double shot. You might have to get it once and then get a booster in 120 days or 6 months.
And it better be the same serum, right, from the same company.
Right.
Right, because everybody has a different approach to this thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing if what I do for a living, if we have a brand new design, brand new everything, we're addressing a brand new problem that we have to solve. If you gave me everything I needed on Monday, and all we do is make radiators, we're looking at November before we can tell you flat out, yes, this works, and we can guarantee it. Right? And literally everything we do is controlled. Literally everything. There's no 5 or 10% or 20% or whatever the hell it is that lives in some place out in God knows where that you're going to have a problem with. Everything is controlled, and there's no variables. Okay, and it's still going to take us that long, but we have control of everything. And you're going to come up with a vaccine, dude? It's September. Come on. You can't do it. It's a physical, literal impossibility. And this clown's still pushing it, and assholes are still repeating it. It kills me. It kills me. Come on, you and I worked together for how long? How long would it take us to develop a door for something whenever you and I work together? Right? I mean, we're not talking a huge scale, right? We're not talking a worldwide scale. We're talking like one building. And the time it took for one building. Now, make that huge. Make that bigger. And all we did was make doors. You're going to do that quick?
I wouldn't want to be the first one taking it. I'll wear my mask.
Right? It took us, if somebody came to us with something unique, right? And every now and then we had to do that, right? Sometimes it was a door and a window type thing or whatever the case may be, but it was an odd size. Remember, it wasn't a standard opening that we had to deal with. And it would take, 3-4 days before we came up with something where we're like, okay, let's put this thing together and see what happens. Okay. Yeah. So that's one door on one wall in one building. Extrapolate that into every kind of variable you can imagine, because we're not even talking, we come to this, we have this assumption like the rest of the world is like Mayberry, right? Everybody, by the way, I got to take a picture of looking at the end of my driveway, looking east, just to make you shake your head and sweat. But
I know it's there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, right? And we look at the world like Mayberry. And even different parts of Lawrence County isn't Mayberry, but yet these assholes think that they're going to get this thing done this quick. There's no way it can happen. There's no way you can do it.
And what are you seeing in the meantime out there? I saw an article today. How long's college been back in? Main campus, Penn State. You know how many new cases in September, and this is the 18th? 1,200.
1,200. You know what? There's a reason for that.
And the Big Ten starting football.
Yeah, there's a reason. Let me tell you what's going on. My son had a party, and he had a couple of his friends over, and one of them I want to say goes to Kent State. I want to say Kent. I might be wrong. It really doesn't matter. But him and his girlfriend were over. They came over early. Oh, by the way, I have a great picture of her with her head in a garbage can. By the way, just throwing up like crazy. If they stay together and get married, yeah, I'm using that, right? But they came over early, and my wife and I are just kind of sitting there, just bullshitting with them, and you're like, hey, you ready to go back to school, and yada yada, those things, and he said, Nick's friend, one of his best friends, said, yeah, I'm ready, but I'll be home soon. And my wife was like, well, why? And he said, well, because of the pandemic. And she said, you think so? And he said, well, what do you think they're making us go back for? And both of us were like, I don't know. And he said, because as long as we're there for 2 weeks and they send us home, they don't have to reimburse us for our room and board. Right? So we go for 2 weeks. They put our class online because of the pandemic, because people tested positive, and they get to keep all of that money that we had to pay up front for our dorm rooms and our meals. They get to keep all of that. That's why they're in such a big hurry to get everybody back to school. And I said, you go, that sucks. That's terrible. But there you go. That's why.
Follow the money.
Always follow the money, right? Everything these clowns do, it's all because of the money. That's it. That's it. So why is the Big Ten starting again? Because it's costing them money. That's it. That's all. And all of these knuckleheads that are around us were like, yeah, damn right, we're getting our football back. Yeah. Damn right, getting my football back. Okay.
Well, you know what? Some of the knuckleheads around here now are bitching because, oh, they got names on their helmets, they got a black national anthem, and they're kneeling. I ain't watching.
Okay, don't
So they're
watch.
going to bitch. They bitch both ways. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't watch. And you know you're going to, right? When yeah, I'm not going to watch. I refuse to watch until Saturday morning, right? Then, oh, well, you know what? I'll give them a chance, right? I'll
Yeah,
give them a
nothing
chance.
else
Maybe
to
it's not so bad.
do, and yeah,
These guys, they're unbelievable. You know what? Though? I got to be honest. I do the same shit. I'm never watching Manchester United again. And they play Saturday, and yeah, I'm watching. You know, that's by the way, Lou. Whenever you start following the Premier League, give Manchester United the shot. Okay, it's all I'm asking for. Okay, please just goes. Please, not Liverpool. Please, not Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Oh my God, please no. I mean, Frank follows Newcastle, right? Who's fighting relegation every year, and even he's like, "Oh God, I hope Lou doesn't pick Liverpool."
Hey, what's that guy's name? They got Mohamed Salah.
Yeah, I always said I wanted to start a team, and I wanted him on my on the team that I pick, and I wanted Gabriel Jesus on the team that I pick, and I have to pick a third one because right away I have Muhammad and Jesus. Right, so I just need a third one. So I just need a third. So whenever I play FIFA, I always make sure I play 4-4-2 with those two up front. I don't like how the hell can I lose? I got Muhammad and Jesus scoring for me.
No, man.
Speaking of electronics, I'm sorry, Lou. That's the best. That's the best segue I could do. Come Sunday, TikTok's banned from app stores.
Yeah, how about that?
How about that, huh? I don't know if you saw what I said in our group, but I purposely downloaded TikTok just because I knew this was coming. I don't even like TikTok. I'll be honest with you, I can't stand the damn thing. But I downloaded it anyhow. TikTok will be removed from U.S. app stores from midnight Sunday as Washington implements executive orders from President Trump that also target WeChat, a Chinese social media app, which is kind of the and you're gonna hear this this argument a lot, which is a competitor to Facebook Messenger. TikTok is what 30-second quick little videos that also is a competitor to a lot of this stuff that Facebook is winning. Oracle had submitted a proposal to basically take over portions of TikTok, not the entire thing, but portions of it. Basically, they're leaving the algorithm alone because their algorithm literally, Lou, you and I, in a matter of 10 or 15 minutes, could probably rate something very similar to TikTok's algorithm. It's not very hard. The more views it gets, the more up higher on the list it goes whenever you get on this thing. So it gets closer to the first thing you see. Not very different than what YouTube does. Okay, so it's not exactly a programming juggernaut in order to figure out how to do this. It's pretty simple. I'm going to argue that it's the reason he has a hard on for this is because of the way he TikTok was used to attack his rally in, what was it, South Dakota or wherever it was.
Yeah,
Tulsa.
he was embarrassed by it. That's why.
Yeah. So that's my feeling.
He was embarrassed by Generation Z, is what it amounted to.
And give Zuckerberg a lot of credit, because as soon as he saw that, he immediately had dinner with Trump, and next thing you know, we want to ban TikTok. Right? It's okay that Facebook can be the platform that causes the absolute destruction of a total democracy. But Zuck saw this, jumped on it. Next thing you know, it's getting banned. Lou, this is the big reason. This is another reason why I can't stand Facebook. But give the guy credit. He takes openings when he gets them. Guy's smart.
Yeah, so much for that free market, huh?
Yeah, well, we don't need one.
Yeah, Republican free market unless it interferes with their profit.
Yeah, yeah. Did you happen to were you watching Nicole earlier by any chance?
I only saw about 5 minutes of it.
Did you happen to see Biden's? They cut out to Biden's presser. I forgot where the hell he was. Did you see any of that?
No.
I'm trying to find the if there was any kind of news, anything that picked it up. And I can't find it. I'm looking at Google News. I went over to Reddit right now and I'm looking. Lou, I think it's time to admit something. I follow way too much soccer because it's like it just fills my news feeds, right? I'm like, my God, I actually need news for the pod. It's like all I see is soccer memes. It's just these soccer stuff. But he had a great presser. The town hall thing yesterday was phenomenal. Then whatever he had today, I messaged my wife because she's out in Cleveland right now, and I said, "Are you watching Nicole?" And she's like, "Damn right I am." I'm like, "What do you think?" And she's like, "Home runs. Biden's hitting home runs." And like I said, he looked like the Yankees. Yankees hit like 36 home runs over these last 3 games, right? I mean, they're hitting home runs like they're coming out of style. Biden's looking like he could back cleanup for them because everything he's doing is dead on. It's spot on. He's just starting to look more and more presidential. My only fear is that he's not getting the press attention that he desperately needs because these pressers that he's doing are phenomenal. They're absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, he's not getting the press time, that's for sure, because you still have Trump tweeting every kind of BS there is. Creating distractions, but you know what? You have debates coming up. The interesting debate might be Kamala and Pence.
I'll tell you. Go ahead.
Scott Walker's imitating Harris for his practice. They can't even get a Republican woman to imitate Kamala. They got to use Scott Walker.
Well, it's kind of hard to imitate her. Right? It is. It's kind of hard to imitate her, but my God, I mean, I'll give Pence credit. At least he's prepping. It's more than Trump's doing.
Trump will fly by the seat of his pants, and I hope something comes up. And you know what? I heard Trump was bitching because Chris Wallace is moderating the first one.
Yeah. You would think it would be the Democrat that's complaining, right?
Yeah.
Look, I told Lisa, I told my wife whenever this, we found out it was him. I'm like, I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. Do you?
No, actually, I don't. I mean, no. Yeah, he leans conservative, but also he's going to maybe his demeanor will, well, who knows? Trump's going to talk over Biden no matter what. Maybe Wallace will try and cut him off more.
Yeah, the one thing
it's VP Biden's turn.
Yeah. The one thing about Wallace I like is, he leans conservative. He definitely leans right. But for the most part, he's a straight shooter. For the most part, he is. And him being a moderator, I just get the vibe from him that his name and his legacy are really, really important to him. And he's not going to play this game where he does anything to tarnish it. He's really, really old school about stuff like that. So, no, I don't have a problem with him doing this at all. Well, he's old, so he is old school.
Yeah, and I know be interesting to see what happens. I don't know who's going to the debate after that, the moderators.
I don't either. We don't know who's moderating the VP one, or either do we? I can't wait for that one. I honestly, that of all of the debates, that's the one I want to see more than anything. It really is, and and that's just simply because I just want to see Kamala Harris just bury Pence, just dig a hole and bury him.
Wouldn't you love to see Joy Reid co-moderating that?
Yeah, with almost anybody else, right? We'll even give you the other person, whoever the hell you want. You can have Tucker for all I care.
Yeah.
Either her or Maddow. Maddow would be another. Well, Maddow's a good moderator, though. You know, say what you want about her. She's a damn good moderator. So she would. I'd take either one. But I don't think I want Nicole Wallace to do it. She's not a good moderator.
No, I don't think she is.
She's too. Her opinion means far more to her. Her opinion means far more to her than Joy Reid or Maddow's does. Yeah, that's weird too, because she actually served in a cabinet. COVID's kind of going all over the world now, right? The second wave is starting to hit Europe, and
Yeah.
it looks like the UK is not handling this well.
Yeah, because that's where it's going first. Well, they handled it a little better than us, but not a lot. And
Not a
the
lot.
UK is going to have some major issues in the next upcoming 6 months because Brexit's starting to kick in addition to COVID. I don't know if I caught a little blurb here just to throw it in on the side where Great Britain, England, I guess, was trying to get a waiver from the European Union on parts for certain things. And the EU basically said, well, we'll see. Since you pulled out, you're not getting a waiver.
No.
You know, they could actually be in a major recession within 6 months over there because of the Brexit.
So you got Brexit, which is just going to wreak havoc on things, right? It really is.
Plus COVID surging.
And you throw COVID on top of it.
Right.
You think there's a whole lot of people right now on that island who are second guessing their their choices back whenever they voted?
Yeah.
You think they should be? I don't understand why they did it to be. Well, I mean, I get why they did it. I just don't understand why they thought it was necessary to do. But I think that goes hand in hand with I don't understand why, you know, everybody thought, well, enough people thought it was a really good idea to vote for the orange asshole that we have.
Well, it was amazing because that Brexit vote was about 2 months ahead of the orange asshole vote.
Yep.
And why did Brexit go through? It was almost the same reason. They hate who I hate.
Yeah.
Not looking at my money or what's good for the country.
No.
And you know what? It's going to start happening to them. They're going to see increased prices for a lot of things that they didn't have before. And a lot of it, I believe, has to do with food.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Because I would think a lot of their stuff, I would think they get a lot of produce and stuff. You got to from Spain and Italy that are more southern.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you know, you look at you know, we have one island right here. That would be Hawaii for everybody watching who doesn't quite understand geography or watches Fox Entertainment. Hawaii is actually a state. Okay. And how how much more expensive everything is there and how hard it is because of getting things to that island. Well, Great Britain's an island, right? So you still have that same problem. Now, granted, the distance isn't quite the same, and there's actually a tunnel between France and Great Britain. That, I mean, you can get on a train, go under the channel, and end up in, which I want to do before I die, by the way, because I think that would just be cool as shit to do. But you still have that same problem of getting goods and services from wherever it is on the mainland out to this island. You still have that same problem. It's just the distance is shorter. So yeah, everything's going to be more expensive. Whenever you were in this EU, in this union, let's face it, you were probably, as far as money and resources go, you were probably to the EU what Kentucky is to the United States, as far as just being a black hole. And then you decided that you don't want it anymore. Wasn't the smartest movies people ever made.
Now, do you think there'll be, well, I guess more to come on that. But yeah, as you were saying on the COVID, you're seeing increases there. The same thing with colleges and universities. You're going to see an increase. So would we say wait 2 weeks? And I said, wait till, you know what, election day, there may be enough going into that second wave where that could throw that election real solid for Biden, because he's going to stand up there and say, what have I been telling you?
And you know he's going to be very, very slick whenever he says, what have I been telling you? Right? He's not going to be like Kamala, who's going to come right out and say, what have I been telling you? Right?
Do you want to take care of this first, then we'll get the economy?
He was. I thought he was very smart whenever he said that the pandemic and the economy are hand in hand. I thought that was very, very smart. Of course, you can say it was a no-brainer, but he did bring it up and he did make it a point. And no one else, I can't think of anybody else in politics who was making that point. So I thought that was pretty smart on his part.
It's, you know what, we looked at that and said the same thing. Like, how do you split it? Well, geez, unemployment's 10.5%. How many restaurants you gone to lately?
One.
Compared to what you were doing in, say, February.
I'll be honest. My wife and I have gone out to eat, and our son and I met her once. It was a Friday because he was off on Friday and I'm off on Fridays. One time, literally one time. It was at Cedars because, man, did I want an eggplant sandwich. I have the best eggplant sandwiches in the world, and we were the only ones in probably other than, you know, the two employees they had and whoever they had in the kitchen. We were the only people there. That was it.
My wife and I, normally, we don't eat out a lot, but it's normally once a week.
Mm-hmm. When was the last time you two went out?
Actually, it was a few weeks ago because that's when we started tearing down the kitchen. And it was that day, it was really hot, humid, and I had everything shut down in the house. So the interior temperature of the house that day was up to 87.
So it was more of a necessity thing than it was a relaxation.
I'm turning the air on. Things have settled. We got to get takeout or go somewhere. And we went to Mangino's. With our intent was, if it was crowded, we would have eaten in the car.
Yeah.
But there was only the one in the Shannock is, you know, they have a decent amount of tables and space. There were 2 tables filled when we walked in. So we got and sat at the table, and one of the tables, we actually knew the couple that was there on the other side, and there was one about 3 tables behind us.
That was it.
That was it. Everybody else was doing takeout.
Right. Right. Which, you know, it kind of reiterates my point of we should have just killed it for 2 months back in March whenever we had the chance, because all these places are doing now is just dying a slow death. Now Mangino's will probably survive, right? Just the money they're making in Mahoney Town will probably allow them to survive because they're making money hand over fist there.
They do a lot of takeout in the Shannock, but those types of places are doing well. If you look at overall statistics like unemployment, the majority of the unemployed, like a lot of people have been pointing out, are food service industry, hotel industry. Something you're going to see here in a couple weeks, I believe it's October 1st or 4th. The money for the airlines runs out. They got that boost of, I don't know how many billions of dollars. 37,000 airline employees will be laid off the first part of next month. Okay. 37,000. Okay, now how many other offshoot jobs is that going to affect? We know how it works because we're near Lordstown, Ohio. We saw what happened.
Yeah, lots.
You know,
lots. Lou, everybody that's being affected, right? Dramatically affected, and I don't want to make a blanket statement, but everybody who's really been hit hard in this industry wise, for the most part, has been disposable income, right? I mean, airlines are a separate beast altogether. They've always been from day one. They're just the anomaly to every rule that you could ever have. But basically, everything that's been hit and hit hard has been goods or services that are basically disposable income. That hasn't changed. You know what? You have a staff. If you own a restaurant and you have a staff, and assuming you have not like most of the restaurants around here, which are all family owned, right? But you have like chains, or you have franchises. For the most part, unless you have a drive-through, you called back a couple, maybe a third of your workforce, because there's just no demand for there might be a demand for your product, but that's takeout, that's drive-through, that's whatever the hell it is. It's not sit down. It's not someplace where somebody's actually waiting on you. The demand's not there anymore. These people are screwed.
Yeah, and I got a feeling Biden wins. He's going to inherit a mess worse than what Obama inherited. And of course, the Republicans will say it's the Democrats' fault. And all of a sudden, they'll be fiscally conservative again.
Again, yeah. All of a sudden, their assholes will pucker, and we've got to be real conservative again. Yeah. It really didn't matter, whenever this idiot's in charge. We have anything positive to end the week with? Anything at all? I mean, I got something positive, but it's very selfish. No one's going to care, but.
Well, we'll take any positive. I gave you a woman in Florida yesterday.
Oh yeah, you did. That was the best one ever, Lou. That was historic. Okay, legendary. That was legendary. Before we got on, I bought a new motherboard.
Oh, there you go. That'll work.
That's about the best I can do, right? I bought a Asus X570. That's the excitement of my day. And like I said, it's a damn good thing that my wife isn't watching the pod, because I'd be getting texts right now saying, "What the hell did you just buy?" But look, isn't that a beauty? Look how nice that is.
I don't even know if I got something fun to even throw on there. I did see a good joke today, and I don't know why it hit me funny. And I'm on my phone, so I can't share this. Let me see where it is. one of those stupid things you laugh at. Here, let's see. Here, I'll throw it over on Discord.
All right, I'll pick it up.
Because that goes pretty quick.
Oh my God. Folks, don't worry. I'm gonna trust me when I tell you. I'm definitely sharing this with you guys. Okay, just give me a second to grab it.
It just caught me so funny today. I just started
What the
busting
hell
up
is
laughing. I normally ask the question, but as it's 20, I'm not going to bother. And there's a cow flying over the road.
I have a Monty Python thing going through my head right now.
Well, you know what? I was just going to say, because guess what? Guess what somebody responded to me with?
What's that?
The classic. And I started busting up when I saw this. I said, there's people sick like me out there. Did that go across? Yeah. Did that GIF go? The Monty Python?
Yeah, it's like I'm thinking about what the hell was it? The Holy Grail. Remember?
Yeah.
The French guys who started hurling everything over the wall.
Run away, run away.
they hurled a cow over the wall.
Oh my God.
If you haven't watched that movie, you don't know what you're missing. It was one of the best movies ever made.
Did you ever hear them talk? Did you ever hear John Cleese and Eric Idle talk about that?
I have not. No.
Do you know why they used the coconuts?
No.
Because they couldn't afford a real horse. And somebody come up with the coconuts. And they said it was just like, it was brilliant. But the truth is, we couldn't afford any horses.
Well, there you go. All right, so we have a great way to end the week. There you go, everybody. I really wish we could have been more serious about the end of this, but oh my God, that was perfect. Everybody watching, thank you very much. Just a quick programming note for the next, I want to say probably 2 months. We will not be on Mondays. It'll be Tuesday through Friday. Hopefully Lou will be joining us on Wednesdays whenever we talk about soccer, because his picks are going to be the best ever.
I'm going to handicap the Premier League.
So it'll be Tuesday through Friday. Okay, so we won't see you again until Tuesday. But until then, same bad time, same bad channel. Goodbye, good luck, and God bless. We'll see everybody on Tuesday. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.